What's going on? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of May 5th. We have only 4 games coming out this week that I can confirm release dates for. Some of these games did come from Kickstarter and now they're hitting retail stores. Let's get this video going. Keep in mind, I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. Next thing to keep in mind, if a game's release date changes, I'll make sure to update about that change in its new respective video. Now, let's get to showing off some games. First things first, coming out on May 1st is going to be Donut Shop by 25th Century Games. This game was on Kickstarter as part of a 3-way package with other games, and now it's coming out as a single game instead of just the one on Kickstarter, which was like a 3-way package, right? So in Donut Shop, you're going to be running a bakery, right? As you're not running, you're like the hire at a bakery, and you're going to be placing donuts on the display case. And as you're doing that, you're going to keep in mind certain patterns and keeping some together because you're going to be fulfilling different orders and scoring for the donut placement as well. In the game itself, it seems like it's a very simple donut, like a tile placement. I was going to say donut placement, tile placement game. Very straightforward. And if you're, like I said, it's more than anything, there's a lot of games that are tile placement style games like this. More than anything, if you vibe with the theme of the game, I would recommend really checking it out and seeing if it's one for you, one of the tile placement games for you. However, there are so many games like this, and this one does look like a fun one. And like I said, it has the contract, it has fulfilling the contract, of course, or scoring for donut placement as well. You're placing your donuts, you're scoring when you get a group of donuts and you get them off the display case, which is kind of like your tableau, I would say almost. So that's going to be Donut Shop. It's very straightforward, simple family game, tile placement. And this game is by 25th Century Games, coming out to you on May 1st. Moving on to the next game is going to be It's Kind of a Fun Story, coming out on May 8th by Pop House Collective. This is an interesting game. So the way I describe this style of game is more of an icebreaker type of game. Usually good to bring out with like new groups and like people who you're trying to get to know more, or even like if you have a new game group, you kind of plug this game and take it out just so everyone can ease into getting to know each other while still playing a game. It's a really cool way. I think there's a lot of great games that do that, that do a really good job of making like a good icebreaker. And this game I think is pretty much in that alley. So It's Kind of a Funny Story is a strategic storytelling game, and you're basically going to have cards that you're going to be pulling into. I'm going to scroll down for some pictures. By the way, some reviews here for you to check out, testimonials. Check them out and really look into reviews, be the smart consumer, and find out if some games are for you instead of buying a bunch of games, having them in your closet or wherever you have them, yourself a shame. So continuing on, in this game, you're going to have cards, right? And the cards you're going to draw into are going to have different things to say, have it be a story card. Every person speaks, like you're playing these cards and you're getting points from doing these specific plays. When you do so, you're going to have specific options with points, of course, that are there. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. So in the game itself, you're going to be taking turns from the deck, of course, and you're going to be playing the cards in your hand. When you play the card in your hand, you're going to be using that to do the specific action. You can also pass and say, I don't want to do anything. However, when you do that, you're risking points for another person to take over. The whole game, honestly, I feel like that mechanic, it definitely has to add like a little bit of strategy or something to it to make it more of a game. But you're pretty much getting to know everybody. So I think passing is probably the last thing you want to do. And they punish you kind of for it, right? You get a chance to not get points, and your whole goal is to get as many points as possible. That's a very deep concept for like another video. But I have a great video, by the way. I got to watch this video, and again, it gave me a really good idea of how the game plays. Of course, and people in the video are having a lot of fun. Like I said, to describe this game, it's more of an icebreaker kind of party game, right? It's a party game, icebreaker kind of game. You bust it out, everyone gets to know each other, then you bring out the main course, which is the main game or the bigger game. Or if your whole group is all about party games, this might be it, right? I actually do have a play group like that who only play party games specifically, and there's nothing wrong with that. Party games are fun, quick. They do the job. They do the job of entertaining everybody, and everyone's having fun. It's good. It's Kind of a Funny Story by Pop House Collective, coming out to you on May 8th. Coming up next, we have Expeditions Around the World by Hachette Board Games and Super Meeple. There is an older game of this. This is basically a re-implementation of that game called Expeditions, and now they put Expeditions Around the World. In this game, you're embarking on like adventures, right? Or an expedition. And I'm scrolling down a little bit here to show you some pictures. In the far top left picture, you're going to have arrows, and on your turn, you're going to be directing expeditions to go different specific directions on a pathway. And of course, it's a map of like the world with different expeditions. And as you move these arrows, you want to keep in mind the cards you have in your hand. You want to achieve the points in the cards in your hand that give you points. So you're kind of directing and pushing the expeditions to different places. Of course, there are also going to be other players doing the same with the 3 arrows on the board. There's a red, blue, yellow. All 3 represent a different expedition. That's the biggest gist of the game. Is you're going to have a little bit of route building and a little bit of contract fulfillment going on. As you go through, you're basically going in with discovering or searching various archaeological sites. And as you go through, you're going to have your private site cards, play them out, and public site cards that you help score. Your whole goal, get to your expedition on your cards at the same time while everyone else trying to do the same. So you're trying to navigate your journey or your track as well as everyone else, trying to determine what everyone else is. Pretty interesting stuff. Check it out. I think it's a really interesting game. It looks like the game itself kind of like is almost like definitely on like the track of like Ticket to Ride. Different play. It plays differently, but it's just the itself, the network and route building part of it is pretty much there. So this is going to be Expeditions Around the World by Hachette and Super Meeple, coming out to you on May 8th. Coming up next, we have Let's Go to Japan by AEG, coming out on May 10th. This game was on Kickstarter, and now it's coming out to retail. Some of the passport expansion is also coming out, which was like a free expansion on the website, on the Kickstarter, and now they're selling it separately. And Let's Go to Japan. I actually got to play this game at Dice Tower West in 2023. And I had a lot of fun. It's a really cute, not just cute, but even beyond cute, an informative, very well done game about Japan. I got to talk to Josh Wood, the designer, and he gave some details about the game itself, which was really, really neat. So in the game, and I want to highlight this biggest thing, you're basically planning your itinerary for going to Japan. You're going to Japan, you're planning your itinerary out. As you do so, you're going to be drafting cards and placing them in front of you, and as you organize them into a schedule, right? And the schedule is going to consist of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Saturday. And as you go through, you're going to organize in a way where you can activate almost a little bit of engine building almost. You want to be able to activate your cards as you go through and place your tokens. There's of course a little more detail and a little more heavy strategy to it. However, I think the funnest part for me about this game was looking through the card artwork and such. All the cards represent different locations in Japan, and they also give you some really cool information. I actually had a trip to Japan planned back in 2020, and it was canceled because of the whole pandemic thing. However, in this game, you're basically planning that trip, and that's the fun part for me. Was been wanting to go to Japan and want to plan a trip so bad, and in playing this game, I got to look through locations, and I think in this game itself, it did such a good job that even when I go, I'm going to be looking through my game, right? The Let's Go to Japan, the game I have, and we're going to look through it, and I'm going to pick out cards to just kind of try to find out new places to build my trip out there. It's a really, really cool concept, and I like it a lot. I can already imagine and see where it's called Let's Go to Japan. I can already see like, let's go to Mexico, let's go to X country, let's go to this country. I can see that future line of games coming out eventually from this alone. Like I think going back to the game, I went off on a tangent there. I'm really passionate about Japan and all that stuff too. I really want to go. You're going to be drafting these cards, and the cards all have different resources on them that you're going to be gaining as you play the game. When you put these down, you're going to want to put them in specific areas and locations and putting them next to other locations. That way you can gain specific awards, and the awards are going to help you get points. You want to get as many points as possible going up this track here up top. And of course, the more you have, the more points you get. The first person on top wins. The funnest part, like I said, is just planning the trip out. It's so cool to do all that stuff and look through the locations. It's all so well done. The cards are great. It's awesome. This is going to be Let's Go to Japan by AEG, coming out to you on May 10th. Thank you for making this far into the video. I appreciate that. That helps the channel grow, and that really lets me know that I'm doing a good job with everything we're doing here. We only had 4 games to release this week, which is good. I mean, it leaves for an easy and light video for you. And as we prep as we have a lot of really big releases coming up in the next few weeks, especially June. I think late May and June. I think we're going to be having I want to say 6 or 7 games per video so far from the list that I'm looking at. So that's super exciting stuff. All these games, I think, are great games, great variety for everyone to pick from. Let me know in the comment section below if you're going to be picking up one of these games, or maybe it's a different game you've been saving up for. I would love to know. I'd love to hear it out and see what you're going to be picking up. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it, and have a good one.